September 6, 1914. I am alongside our French allies. The German army is deep in northeastern France. We are all exhausted from our retreat to the south of the Marne River. Our commander, General Joseph Joffre, ordered an attack on the German army at 6 a.m. Many soldiers died in the fight, but we succeeded in creating a gap between the 1st German Army and the 2nd Army. I still can't get over the horrid images and sounds of death everywhere. Bullets seem to shoot from nowhere, and it's only a miracle that I'm still alive. I only wish that this war will not last too long. September 8, 1914. I heard 6,000 infantrymen are being transported here by taxis to our aid. Hopefully this will hasten the battle and bring us to victory. The war has just begun, but I already dread the warfare. Too many people have died already. Things are, however, starting to look a bit brighter. Tonight we make a surprise attack on the German Second Army to widen the gap. If we succeed, then the Germans won't stand a chance. I am hopeful that this plan will work. September 10, 1914. The Germans have finally retreated. They have gone to the north of the Aisne River. They've dug themselves into trenches. They've tucked themselves in the ground like moles. I am so excited that we have successfully defeated the Germans and prevented them from conquering France.
December 24th, 1940. The trenches are still a mess. More and more people are getting sick and the firing of guns never stops. There is hope though. Many of the men around me are talking about an unofficial ceasefire, but I don't know about it though. Those Germans at any time could shoot us down. I guess tomorrow I will find out if there will be any Christmas spirit. December 25th, 1914. Today was a very good day. After standing at the trenches in the early morning, I thought my ears were deceiving me, but the noise was actually there. The Germans were approaching us, saying Merry Christmas in English. All of us thought this was a trap, so we remained there unmoving, but after no shots were fired, one by one we left the trenches. The rest of that day was great. We played soccer and shared food. We even took this as a chance to recover the bodies of the soldiers who died on our respective sides. Even the war couldn't take away the Christmas spirit.
March 18th, 1915. Today we decided to begin our naval journey to defeat the Turks for the Dardanelles Strait. The lads and I are hoping to connect supply routes with Russia. We boarded the naval ships and headed to the waterway. We began firing when 3 of our nearby ships sank from hidden mines in the water. All of a sudden, the lads and I began running onto the beaches of the Gallipoli Peninsula under General Hamilton. We could no longer move forward. The other lads vigorously began digging holes in the ground, as did the Turks, and began firing. It was unbelievably warm, and trenches were a disaster. So many of my lads had fallen, we were ordered to retreat back to the boats.
February 21st, 1916. Today changed everything. I woke up today thinking it was going to be another day in these horrible trenches, but it was far from it. The Germans out of nowhere opened fire all at the same time. Many of the men around me fell, and I am lucky to be alive. Tonight, I do not know how I'm going to sleep. I have a really bad feeling about the next couple months. June 20th, 1916. It's been about 4 months since I last wrote in this book. I have been moved to what they're calling the flanks, so I guess I'm on the end of the French line. The Germans keep winning these flanks, and I'm scared for my life. There is a rumors that since February, the Germans have acquired a couple miles of land, and in trench warfare, that's a huge win. I would not be surprised if these rumors are right. These trenches are horrible, and more people keep getting sick, and I think if these Germans can't kill me, some sort of disease will. September 10th, 1916. After the Germans took the flank I was stationed on, I cannot believe I'm still alive. They bombarded us with all they had, and I was one of the few to make it out alive. This war shows the worst humanity can look like. The Germans will not stop pushing, and I'm wondering if they will take France altogether. 4 days ago, the Germans launched another attack on us near des Auville. Luckily, they didn't make it far, but tomorrow they probably will conquer it all. You never know. October 20th, 1916. This will probably be the last time I will be writing. In the next few days, we are going to try to take back Fort Douaumont and Fort Vaux. This will be our last push, and I hope for the rest of the Allies that we prevail. A lot of the men, including me, feel nervous about this attack, but we have orders and we must execute them. I'm being called out to get in the line, so I guess we are moving out.
March 21st, 1918. Today was one of the worst days. I could barely see anything from the fog, including the impending German force. As more and more of my lads fell, we began to retreat. French reinforcements were meant to come, but were slow in their arrival. I could see the Germans began showing signs of weakness. Their infantry looked exhausted. Moving supplies became very difficult. After many diverted attacks from the Germans, they eventually called off their first defense. April 9th, 1918. Today I found out the Portuguese deserted our line. With even fewer troops and more land to cover, this may be my last day writing to you. Pushed to spread out our forces, the Germans invaded our lines. We were bombarded every corner we turned. After many days, it was almost impossible to hold the line anymore. Without our French friends, I worried the Germans would push forward even more. Luckily, some of the German flanks were revealed and allowed us to counterattack and eventually seize their advance. May 27th, 1918. I thought today was going to be the first day I wasn't in the middle of a battle. With little surprise, the Germans arrived in full forces. Everywhere I turned, a German fleet was approaching. Our lines began collapsing, leaving us badly wounded. I realized our collapse offered the Germans an opportunity to approach the Marne River and eventually Paris. June 9th, 1918. Today we stopped to reconvene at the Matz River. I was warned of an avoided German attack by the French a few miles away. As I received the news, German troops began invading. With wounded soldiers and diminishing supplies, we had begun to lose all hope when French reinforcements halted the advance and forced Germans to retreat. At the front of the battle lines, without the French assistance, I may not have survived this assault.
September 19. British Lieutenant General Sir Edmund led a main attack that started at 4:30 a.m. With a 15-minute artillery bombardment, we quickly broke through. We finally reached the edge of the plain of Esdraelon. September 20th, 1918. We advanced down the valley and captured El Afol and Bessian. We almost captured Limon von Sanders, but he escaped, most likely while we were searching for his headquarters. I suspect that the approach of the British cavalry alerted him. But we still successfully destroyed the Turkish 8th Army and stopped the 7th Army from escaping. They tried to retreat, but the railroads were blocked and their only escape out, east of Nablus, was also blocked by air power. Allied aircraft caught them, and bombing soon blocked the road. We captured the survivors who scattered into the hills and found over 1,000 vehicles abandoned on the road. September 25th, 1918. Le Mans deployed a rearguard to hold Semanque on the Sea of Galilee. The town was to be the center of a line stretching from Lake Houle to Dara. There was a charge by 1.5 Australian Light Horse regiments at 2:30 a.m., followed by intense hand-to-hand fighting. Many men fell into pitfalls as we tried to see through the darkness of the night, the sun still far from rising. I still remember the blind panic of fighting in the dark, hoping I wouldn't run into one of the walls of the railroad station. After what seems like hours, we eventually captured the town. Our victory broke the defensive line of the Ottomans. I can sense the end of the war. I can't wait to go back home.